All right, all right, all right. We have Nate Towers on all the way across the ocean, across the pond or multiple ponds over into Australia. How you doing, Nate?
Yeah, good, bro. How you doing?
Good.
Good
So
to be here. Be here.
t- we've known each other for a little bit, and this, honestly, this is the first time we've ever talked in person. So I'm kind of excited. And
Yeah, legit.
yeah, tell us about you. Tell us what you want us to know about you.
Mate, I'm an open book, whatever anyone wants to know. But yeah, I was a fridgie by trade. Loved my job. Loved loved the diagnosis side of it, the problem solving elements, and but due to my wife's health, I've been trying to find a way, I used to collect second-hand refrigerators, repair them, sell them for 4 times the price, do that from home,
Sure.
over the last 4 years. But I needed to find a proper route. I needed to settle myself. If I had to, if I wanted to move state tomorrow, or I had to have 3 months off because of her health, I needed an income while I'm at home. Yeah.
Sure.
So
So how do you move from what we would call like HVAC repair into what
yes.
you're doing now?
Um, just sort of I searched for what the highest caliber of problems I could really solve remotely and get paid to do so. Really. Yeah. So I started just it started really affiliate marketing, bro. I started as affiliate marketing about 3 years ago. Was what made me think, hang on, it's pretty possible to, you know, if you want to stand out from the pack and don't
Sure.
do what everyone else is doing and don't eat up their bullshit. Find what works yourself, solve that valuable problem, mate, and happy
That's
days. So yeah,
that's a that's a tough gig, affiliate marketing, right? So
yeah,
I don't think that many people really understand what that is. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to explain to the people. Not all the subscribers understand digital, so they come from all different
beauty, good,
life. So can you
yeah,
walk
rough.
through kind of the digital or the affiliate marketing side, and then go into the point A to point B? So you started here, and this was what you were
Yeah,
trying to do,
cool.
and then tell us where you're at now.
Yeah, so basically affiliate marketing is basically it's just referral marketing, really. In Australia, companies like even Kmart and Big W or Walmart in America,
Mhm.
I noticed at first those companies were doing referral based programs for business, and then I found certain softwares. Actually, I found when I had an e-commerce gig actually for about 6 months, selling security cameras, and while I was doing that with affiliate marketing, some of the software I was using actually had high paying referral programs. So I thought, hang on,
Sure.
I genuinely need this software. I'm using it. It's good. I swear by it. Um, yeah, let's start promoting it. So basically, it'll happen through a the company in question will have, if it's a page builder or any type of software, they'll usually have an affiliate back end, as you know. But as a customer, you'd if you signed up to a software program as an affiliate, you'd get your own assigned link, or you can create your own link. It depends on it depends on who they use for their affiliate side of things. But basically, any sale that's made through that link that is tracked, usually with most affiliate programs, it's tracked pretty well. Some not so good, but yeah, any sale that's made through that link on their website with your tracking cookie will you'll get that commission, really. So it's
So
just a little bit of
it's kind of a unique world because a lot of people start in like a lead gen or an affiliate marketing space when they get into digital, and that's what excites
yeah,
them or draws them in.
yeah,
And people don't realize how tough it is because it's a rat race. I mean, you have
yeah,
all of these
exactly.
space competing for the same eyeballs, if you will, to get them to a site to gain that commission, right? Or
Yeah,
from a You know what I mean? So so,
yeah,
so it's kind of interesting because that tends to, and I like that. I like the fact that people get into the digital world on that side because it weeds out all of the weak and timid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the only route I know. That's where I came from. So yeah, but
Yeah.
it's
So
yeah, 100%, mate, 100%.
so that gives you the drive, that gives you that background of, the hunger, and hey, I gotta hustle, right? If you're going to succeed in that industry, you gotta be on it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's it. And you have to be on it too, because man, a lot of the people are teaching fluff, man, and dreams. They're selling fake. This is going to be easy. It's like, no, man, it's possible, yeah, but anything that involves making money, if you're not solving a genuine problem, man, it's not going to work.
it it
It's not going to work.
it takes some real gumption. I don't know what the Australian word is for some of the words that I use, but it takes a real sack, right? To stay in
Yeah,
that business and just constantly grind. And I actually am going into that market just because I want to apply some of the things that I already do in other areas, and then it's kind of an
yeah,
easy shift for me, right? Or an easy like side, whatever side hustle, I guess. I hate that term, but
yeah. So
um,
do I, just because of yeah,
yeah. So you started there, but then let's talk about. I mean, you have some real exciting shit happening in your life right now with the
yeah, yeah.
website. So let's get to the good stuff, because there's certain things I'm gonna fluff you up a little bit after
Yeah,
you tell.
beauty. No, I love
So
that.
tell us what you're doing now, and then I'm gonna put it into layman's terms for everybody
Beautiful.
else. Go
Well,
ahead.
what I'm doing now, I transition, to affiliate market successfully. You need to, you're marketing, you're promoting something, but you need to be able to lead people. You need to be able to not control people, but you need to know, you need to be able to point out the correct points. So I learned a lot of marketing skills and psychological skills and how people like to be spoken to, and I learned a lot of that side of things with affiliate marketing. And then I noticed, hang on, um, certain industries are lacking in this. Like, there's certain industries out there where I can do this for them, not for me to earn a commission, for them to onboard more clients and take more sales, and especially the automation side of things, email sequences and stuff like that I was setting up. I was like, man, this is I can use this energy better. I can apply it elsewhere and have a better result for others and myself. So I started building websites and um, basically Facebook ads is where I sort of tried to leverage for local businesses. So I started doing it there and started charging pretty much stuff all. You'd be shocked, actually, some of the websites I've built for some of the prices. But I started there. There was always a certain issue. So I didn't come from a code background, like back in the day, with MySpace pages and stuff, I'd be
Sure.
coding there with themes or basic coding, or when I was in primary school, I actually did start off with what was the software. I first learned to build websites with code, but that was back at high school. Life went on, forgot all about it. But in all of these drag and drop editors that are out there, there was always an issue. Um, I had to sort of, I had to piece things together. It was a bit of a mix and match. Some might not have had an internal email autoresponder, or which isn't that much of an issue really. Mainly design elements. I programs were lacking, so I finally found a software that didn't only have a white label option, but I can add on to the features of that software. So it was already pretty much fault free at first for me to use. I was loving it, and the price I was paying was beautiful. And I thought, hang on, I'm not going to promote this as an affiliate program. I'm out of affiliate marketing. A lot of my local clients would actually love if we had our own branded software tool that we rely on, and we've tried and tested everything out there. So we went that option, and I'm really happy with it, man. Like yeah, like
So
there's there.
so let me break this down a little bit, because what I see, and I found myself in a position where I would have a lot of people who fell for a scheme, right, within
Yeah,
like the lead gen or the affiliate side, and they would invest a whole bunch of money into these different tools. I mean, thousands upon thousands of
yeah,
dollars, and and it was like having a whole bunch of tools, but nobody really taught you how to use them, right? So one of the things
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
as I was looking through your platform, what interested me, not even necessarily for me, but for anybody else, is you took kind of a soup to nuts, where you took all of these different pieces and you put them together into one single place and made it easy for everybody, and
yeah.
helped
That was
them
the aim. Yeah,
get past that hurdle that normally makes everybody else quit. Because the average
yeah,
Joe, the average person walks into affiliate marketing, they're told how easy it is by somebody who does it for a living, who
yeah,
has years and years and years of experience, and then they just, suck all of this money out of them, get all, sell them all these tools, and then say, hey, good luck, and then they're broke and pissed off, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all too common too. Yeah,
You created this stepping stone within your what you're offering right now, that allows people to not have to go through all of those headaches, which is
yeah.
pretty,
That's it.
that's pretty sexy, man. I mean,
Yeah,
no, it's not all of that is out there. It kind of takes, everybody's familiar with like Wix, right? So Wix is really good
yeah,
at designing pages, but then they just kind of drop off and you're on your own.
yeah,
And if you look at Squarespace, it's kind of the same thing, but what you're doing is actually giving them all of the missing pieces from a design aspect, and then the sales and marketing tools, and then just jamming them together, making it easy, and saying, here you go, with a nice little bow on top. And
yeah. This is what I use. This is
yeah,
yeah. It's all here.
so
It's all here.
so your platform has landing pages already, and it had, I mean, tell us about the features. I mean, because I'm not even trying to sell your stuff. That's what I mean. People are going to watch this and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
going to like, sales promotional
What's
thing.
he?
It really isn't. I mean, it's just one of those things that, God, when I got into what I do, years and years and years ago, I kind of wish that something like what you have was available then, because I spent a lot of time learning a whole bunch of stuff, and
Yeah,
you kind of get everybody past that. So brag on that stuff, and then we're going to talk about just some cool shit afterwards, because we're here to talk
yeah.
about cool
See,
shit.
yeah. We always talk about cool shit.
So tell us some of the
Yeah.
features.
Um, I might just share my screen, eh? Why not?
Yeah, go ahead. Your screen's a little
Share
bit
a couple
grainy.
things. It'd be a bit easier.
Yeah, your screen's a little bit
It
grainy, but
is.
you're like 10,000 miles away. You probably got
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
those.
yeah.
You
Maybe.
probably got one. You probably got one of those kangaroos in your backyard with your internet right now.
Yeah, yeah. Where are we? I don't
Yeah,
know if it'll show.
you just go down
No,
to.
they're pretty close, man. The kangaroos are pretty close here. I don't have to go far. Eh?
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about some kangaroos here
Where
while I
are
got.
we? Yeah, don't you? I might even just go into my main website, my main homepage, my landing page, account, and go through the features. Would probably I'll just share screen, huh?
Yeah, you can. Let's see. It's right on the bottom. It should say share screen, and then choose. I'm sure you
And
have.
again, if it's not clear,
Oh, you there? Froze up, man. You might have to log out and log back in, Nate. Let's see. Let's get them back here. All right, Nate's logging back in. Let's give him a couple of minutes. As technologically efficient as we are in today's world, we're still not at that point when you have a conversation with somebody 10,000 miles. I don't know how far away Australia is from Minnesota, but um, yeah, so that's where we're at right now. There's a little bit of a lag, a little bit of a delay. So Nate's going to talk about his platform, and that's not the basis of this show. I mean, it's just one of those things that he's got some really cool stuff going. So if that's your industry, or if that's what you're trying to get into, I would recommend that you look at it. And we're going to talk more about it, and we'll post a link in the description when we upload this video. All right, he's logging back in. All right, here we go.
Hey, maybe not share, bro.
Yeah, I can hear you. I think your video is just lagging a little bit, which is fine. Like I was explaining.
Yeah, I don't know.
To
I've got a good connection.
Yeah, I think it's just because you're 10,000 miles
cool.
away, dude.
I don't think we'll share the screen.
Yeah. Tell us about the features, though.
Yeah, it should have an issue. I've never used StreamYard before. But yeah, cool. So basically, it just has a just like most of the other drag and drop editors, it has a, which I'd like to show right now, but I can't. But if they go to tyseth.com.au, Tyseth, named after the kids, they'll be able to check it out a little bit. But basically just has an internal drag and drop interface. About 70 themes. I add about 5 themes a week. So it's already packed with some pretty good theme templates that are conversion oriented. They're not just this website looks pretty. No, they'll have placeholder text that I think works, is a good route or option for that industry, or so to speak. So the templates are already pretty much made to just input your own data and images. But
so it allows the layperson to kind of have a point and click option for almost like a website in a box with engagement and conversion opportunity. Is that correct?
Yes. So, but you can also obviously start with a blank canvas, custom coded elements. It's not too hard to, add coded features. Other than that, that threw me a little bit losing you there. I got a bit lost. But basically, let me just.
Yeah, you're fine. So the other thing, and I'm gonna kind of make fun of Australia a little bit for just a moment, but the value of your well, first off, your pricing is, you asked me about your pricing, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't really know, because I have servers, right? So I'm not the guy who goes in and just, buy something like that. But then I started looking at your pricing, and your pricing is in Australian dollars, right? Is that correct?
US at the moment.
Oh, US. Okay. Because I was going to make funny, and I was, man, based on the dollar conversion, you're just selling it too cheap, but it's still cheap either way. I don't know. I looked at it and I said, okay, so these people can go in. And
no, I need to upgrade that.
Yeah, they can do, which is fine. It's a great introductory price, but if you look at what you're offering versus, say, somebody goes in and they're buying a domain, they're setting up a hosted WordPress, getting a security certificate through like GoDaddy or somebody like that, you're actually right in line with those prices, but offering like 5 times more shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I might up my price one day. Probably not.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. I think it's going to be a home run. I mean, I think you're going to knock it out of the park where you're at right now. I'm sure you already are, but it's kind of a new thing. Kind of fun to get the word out.
Yeah, not so much with the software. I'm doing good with the agency work, but man, it involves a lot of work.
Well,
I like the whole collecting revenue from, you know, something you set up. Not really. I say that now, man, but as soon as I have no tasks to do and I've got all this spare time, I'll be on to another project. So
yeah, it's agency work is fun at first, and that's what everybody thinks that they want until they have it. And then once they
yeah,
have all of that, and
yeah,
you're running around with your hair on fire, and it's like this never ending game of Pac-Man. You ever play that video game Pac-Man?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
you know, I woke up one day and I realized that I wasn't doing what I loved anymore, which was the actual work, because I was dealing with people problems and internal
yeah,
problems. It was the next blah 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 whatever. And I hope you don't get to that point. I hope you find you kind of your happy medium, because I think you're, from the conversations that we've had, you're good at finding that happy medium between family and work, which is more than I could say for myself.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
what do you
which is
want to
what I've always said. But yeah, you're right with the whatever, man.
I don't know. Let's
Bloody
talk about all those
no.
poisonous fucking animals you guys
Weak
have. Good.
people.
You
Like this
guys,
little
I
one
mean,
here. I got one here for. I've got one here if you want. I got one here for you.
you got what? A kangaroo?
No, not a kangaroo. Little lizard.
Holy shit! What is that thing?
We rescued him. He just woke up. Blue tongue lizard, mate. It's actually a skink.
Oh, that's like I don't know if we have.
Little Max.
Yeah, is that as big as it gets?
No, he's a baby. We rescued him.
How big? How big?
That's the only reason we've got him. Yeah. Oh, I've had him 70 centimeters as a kid, mate. Oh, that's all I did as a kid was bloody Steve Irwin, mate. Catching lizards, snakes, bloody. Kids caught that one. My kids caught that one.
Yeah. Well, I gotta
Yeah,
say this. I gotta say this only because I pick on people in the U.S. so much. I mean, the U.S. Kids are pussies here now. I mean, their
yeah.
parents raise them right. You know, in Australia, they're like, hey, you
Yeah,
only lost half your blood. Just suck it up and drive on, right?
kinda. I'm glad that's the image we set off because that's the image we want, man. But there's a lot of weak cunts around here too. There's a lot of when, but the stronger win. I'll put it that way. The kind that only just. It's pretty bad here. It's pretty bad here. It must. I don't know. You just must have a good selection of Australian friends, real Aussies. There's a lot of
Yeah.
Karens here, bro.
Really? The craziest thing, the
Yeah.
craziest article I read from Australia was these dumbasses that were like gluing themselves to the street in, I think it was Brisbane or Brisbane. I don't know how you
Yep.
pronounce it. They were protesting.
Yeah, it would have been greenies protesters, mate.
So they're protesting the environment, and the way they're protesting the environment is they put a whole bunch of hazardous glue all over their bodies and they glue themselves to the street. I was like, what is up with these dumbasses?
Yeah. Far out. I'm gonna have to find a story to match that, mate. There's a lot of that, eh? There's a lot of that around here, but I don't know. I don't know.
So
We just sort of ignore them. I don't know. You can't really speak as a like I said. Good.
no, I might be losing you again, Nate. Say that again.
There you are. You got me.
Yep, now I can hear you.
Yeah. No, I forgot. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. No, we have a lot of That's pretty common around here. Not so much the last 2 years ish, but it's mainly all the Black Lives Matter protest. They're congregating in the city to protest because for some reason, one or another. But before all of this shit, before all COVID and all that, man, the environmental climate change protesters, man, holy shit, locking themselves to train tracks and just doing stupid shit, bro. I can't. You sort of topped it. You sort of picked the best story that was on my mind, the one with the glue on the road. So I can't. But man, take that exact methodology there and just swap out a few details.
Well, it's
Done.
like it's like
Always there's always hypocrisy involved.
I always think, who came up with this? Who came up with this idea? Like, they started here. The kids started eating these Tide pods or whatever to get high or whatever, and I'm like,
yeah.
I wonder who the dumb motherfucker was that tried that first. Like, at what point does somebody say, I'm going to eat laundry detergent? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It shows the power of the internet and viral challenges, though. You can.
Yeah, I guess. Here I keep saying that I want to do the battery acid challenge for the protesters here. Right?
Don't bring up. I've got a couple of battery acid stories, actually. I just want to see where you're taking it first.
Well, do like what was it? The ALS ice bucket challenge or whatever that was, and change that over to the battery acid challenge, and then do like a video where it photoshops everything out and makes it look real, and then call that the Antifa challenge or something, like Antifa battery acid challenge. See how many of those dumbasses will pour battery acid all over
ground zero. Yeah. Man, it'd only take one of them to say we're doing it, and they'll all do it.
Oh, sure.
It'd Absolutely. Be good. I don't know if we'd be liable for anything.
Well, so one of the other things, I don't know how you feel about these Antifa. Yeah, I call them Twinkies or jellyfish or whatever. But so I had this.
Yeah, pussy, spineless tea-hearts.
I had this idea where I wanted to set up a website, like a forum website for Antifa, and then have everybody join the movement.
Yeah.
And then send the contact form over to the FBI. So when they fill out a contact form to join, it just sends them right to the FBI.
It wouldn't even be that hard to set up either, right? That's fucking heaps good.
I already
work, dude. That's mad.
I already own the assets. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey. Yeah. See.
I just haven't built it out yet.
That's
I probably
pretty cool.
Share.
Yeah.
And then going back to the affiliate marketing side, I said, well, why don't I just set up an affiliate marketing play with all this riot gear?
Yeah.
And then just sell it all to them, and then I have all of their information. Buys it.
Hey. No, they should be, bro. Yeah. It's not. They're not so much out in the open here that they're. Hey. Bit of a lag there.
Yep. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. No, I missed that. I missed what you said.
Oh, I just said keep going. I mean, you were talking about Antifa and how they're not out in the open like they are here. Yeah.
They could be. I don't know. They're a worldwide thing. They've been here. There's been protests in them over the year. I don't know. I don't pay. It's not. You can't really narrow their influence here in the latest protest. It's not. It's just more so people following the videos of the protests from America, and sort of jumping on board a little bit. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to it all, man. I don't know.
Well, what in our?
But yeah, there's no really
What do you see in our news that just drives you crazy? I mean, there's so many things, right? But what are some of the things that you read and you're like, you guys are off your fucking rockers there?
Mainly we did have the sparked protests around the time of the George Floyd. We had them here too, but it was the big difference was the smashing up of the businesses in the neighborhoods, and like that that's your neighbor's business. What are you doing? That could have been your uncle's business you just burnt. Like, you don't even know. Like, what's that got to fucking do with the point? What the fuck is destroying the neighborhood you live in and destroying the assets of the neighborhood that are responsible for your way of living? You could have got the same fucking result by just going to the Nevada desert or wherever and just sitting there in rubble, mate. Just sit there. Because in the long run, you've just fucked your whole everything. Like, I don't get it. I don't get how the businesses were. That's the only part I don't get. And I thought it was going to happen here. I was like, but mate, if it happens here, you're going to get fucking, you will get fucked up. If any little college, little university, little soy boys want to rock up to like businesses and like start, man, if that happened here, fuck, bro, people would have got hurt instantly. I don't know. I don't know how the pussies over there have a false sense of security and toughness and at first until they realise they have glass door. But I don't know, man. I don't know that as well. Like, I really want to put your head out here and have a fight. You know, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we have, you know, everybody has kind of an assumption of the United States, and the assumption versus reality are two very different things. And one of the things that I tell people, one of the things I tell foreigners is that Americans are very entitled and they're very selfish and they're very arrogant. And it just as a whole, which is unfortunate because I don't see that in Australians. I see more of a community driven behavior and culture and attitude, which is very admirable. But here, I mean, I could be on
that does prevail. Yeah.
Here I could be on fire and my neighbor wouldn't piss on me to put me out. I mean, they just walk past me because that's how we do it here, which is pretty sad.
It's sort of it exists here, man. It really does. Like the street where I'm now, I'm in the house I grew up in, and like, you know, we grew up in this street with 15 kids playing cricket, you know, playing football, riding bikes, doing what we want. Now, man, you wouldn't have your kids out the front now, man. Neighbors will turn their nose up. There's kids in the street, or, you know, I'm trying to read a book, or it has transitioned that way here as well. How you said as a whole, as a nation, and then mentioned your neighbor. You know, I have good neighbors. Don't get me wrong. But as a whole, you wouldn't picture 15 kids playing in this street in this day and age. But what you just explained, your nation as a whole, that does exist here too, and I do believe it is a majority. But, you know, maybe only 6% of people. It definitely exists here, but I think the ratios are just a little bit in our favour. People like me and you. It's very similar, man. I actually had a comment yesterday. An Australian contact of mine, friend, Facebook friend, commented it on another one. They exchanged two paragraphs to each other pretty tamely, and then the Aussie contact fired back saying, "Yeah, well, we're all laughing at you. Our whole country laughs at you, Americans. Like, yous are idiots." And I was like, "Bro," I just commented, "Bro, you can't speak for another person, let alone a whole nation, dude. Like, fucking, man, like you just said, like, the assumption and the reality are two different, you know, far apart they are, you know, whatever. But
you see
just
on
narrow-minded people, you know,
you see on social. I mean, you see some of the attacks that I get on social media, which are hilarious to me. I mean, I don't think people actually understand how humorous it is to me to read that shit. You know what I mean? And you've seen some of that, and it's like, I forget who it was, but, you know, I had the what do you call them? I call them the boogaloo bitches, right? That all jumped in, and I was like, no, I got it. I promise.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's
what the fuck are these dudes?
So let me get this straight. You guys pretend to be some sort of a shadow CIA. You want to take over the government, and you wear fucking Hawaiian shirts in the process of doing that. Got it. Right?
The part I like was what was that? What was it in the Capitol Hill zone? What was it called again? The Autonomous Zone. I loved how how they didn't like how the police, how they had to hide to complain that the police weren't coming to help them in their autonomous zone or whatever they call the fucking thing. But they wanted supplies and they wanted like fucking what the fuck, cunt? I thought you're on your own. You still got power. You still got internet. You still, mate. You're not self-sufficient, cunt. You want to be self-sufficient. There goes the plumbing. There goes the running water. There goes the data. There goes the internet. There goes the phone line. There goes the emergency services, cunt. You're on your own. Oh yeah, and you have to pay external. You're not an Australian. You're not an American state anymore. No worries. You have to pay international tariffs if you want. You want something come into your little. That was ridiculous. Yeah.
I was reading that stuff and I was like, "Holy shit!" I mean, this is like when you were, and I'm sure you did something similar to this. But I remember I had to share a room with my little brother growing up, and I remember he was like 6 and I was 10, and I got so pissed off at him that I decided we were going to split the room up and I was going to live in our closet, right?
Yeah.
So I threw all the shit out of the closet and I was living in the closet for about a day. And I made my mom bring me dinner in my own room, which was the closet. And a day later, I was like, I got to use the bathroom. And I remember my dad was like, well, you don't have a bathroom in your room? Right? In your own special room. So these dumbasses go out there and they take over like 6 city blocks. And I'm like, if they were smart, they would have included a hospital in that area that they took over.
Yeah.
It may be a power plant or something. I don't know. Wasn't real thought out.
No. How did they get that power? How did they get the numbers to overtake? That's the part I don't get geographically. Like, I don't know. I've never stood on the ground there in America. I don't know how they could have the pussy power. How they have the pussy power to take over 6 blocks. What is that an aged care? Is that a block of aged care people or children that they took over? Or
no.
How did they work?
It's actually a fairly prominent city district, but if you do the research into it, the city council person that runs that district actually wanted that to happen. And
yeah, I did.
Yeah, she's a real piece of shit. And then she's just garbage. But she actually she immigrated here from India. And then she and within like 7 years, she actually moved into to a city council position, was elected to city council, and she's never been shy about what she's about. And she's just a piece of shit, man. I mean, but they voted
a lot, didn't she?
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
Yeah, they voted for it, right? So I'm sitting back thinking, well, you guys just got what you wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they voted for her or her specifically? You know what I mean? They voted for her specifically, did they?
Yeah.
That's
a popular vote. So by majority, her district voted for her. That was her district. So, I don't know. They got
make your bed.
Yeah, absolutely. But, then we started seeing reports of like, hey, we don't have enough Jimmy John sandwiches. Could somebody run the Domino's and pick us up?
They can't even fucking cook, mate. You kidding me? Can't even fucking cook.
And then they had this thing where all the white people had to start giving the black people money as like, I don't know, some sort of reparation.
Yeah, like cleaning their shoes and stuff. Oh, I thought that was real weird. Like, and I've got native family, so like in Australia, the black folk they weren't introduced here as slaves, they are our American Indians to America, and my family is one of the local tribes, So I identify with some of the values they had, but where the fuck did they take it? Like, what the fuck? What's that shit? I don't agree with that shit. What, polishing their shoes and what giving them money?
It was just whatever. Well, I can explain that, Nate. So the problem here And I can, I only know here, and this is just me guessing, but what happened here is the feminist movement actually caused a whole bunch of women to get divorced. And then dad went away and they raised these little hot pockets by themselves as single moms.
Yeah.
And they're all
I always say that too. Yeah.
they're my age, right? So mom couldn't keep dad around because she could do everything a man could do. And you hear terms like baby daddy and all this other shit, that they use here. So these kids were raised hating themselves because mom hated themselves
Yeah.
or their self. And then they turn around and these kids, it was just give them whatever they want and make them shut up and then go to the basement and play your video games and watch your Rick and Morty cartoons. And I don't want to hear from you because I have, 80 cats to take care of upstairs. Right. and and so then these kids go to school and they don't have any parenting or any good parenting, and then they go to school with these just absolute communist socialist teachers that further this thing of them hating themselves. You know what I mean?
I remember you shared something, yeah. You shared something about a university lecturer. I don't remember what it is now, what it was, but it was very relevant to what you're saying about
Yeah.
what did he I hope you
So
remember what I'm talking about.
so they actually backtracked three of these kids that burnt one of these places down here in my backyard. They tracked these kids to suburban outside of the Twin Cities into the suburbs, but they were all around. You know what I mean? So they weren't like next door
Yeah,
neighbors. And then they tracked them back that all three of them were in the same college class at University of Minnesota, being
yeah,
radicalized by college professors.
yeah. I don't know if I actually found the article for you, but I read an article about that dude. It was pretty shocking.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I mean, they've just been raised in this socialist communist environment. And people tell me I'm crazy and they're like, and I'm like, no, when you connect the dots, it's so easy because
Yeah.
because dad wasn't around. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
that's always been my guess.
yeah,
Yeah, about the fatherless homes, mate. Because around here, I don't know. You could tell who was raised by mum who didn't give a shit. Who was at the pub. You know, while they were
mhm.
at, you could tell which boys were raised by mum and which boys were raised by dad. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people that were raised by single mum had tough single mums and turned out top people around here. But mate, a lot what you're saying, yeah, a lot of mate over entitled, dumb, but I'm right, and I did notice that as well. That the media was trying to paint out that this is the citizens from Capitol Hill destroying their place, because I knew they weren't from there. I knew in every one of these riots the people are from out of town, and they've either been hired or paid or you know.
Oh yeah.
But the media always tried to paint it like these people are tearing up their own towns, and mate, they were tearing up their own fucking towns. Well, a lot might have been involved. Don't get me wrong, but mate, they were influenced from outside, mate. They were.
And that kind of leads back to the issue that we have with the media. So at some point, and I don't even want anybody who's going to do advertising to know this or get into like our marketing industry or whatever, because hate sells better than love, at least here
Yeah,
in the United States. So the media just plays on that, and it's all about, if I can drive hate and I can get all of this, this divisiveness going, I'm going to get more traffic. And if I get more traffic, then I'm going to get more, even more traffic because I'm going to rank better for this, that, and everything else. So, it went from, I don't know, probably 10, 15 years. I don't even know how long ago, but the big story was, Paris Hilton giving blowjobs and Britney Spears showing
yeah,
off her boobs or whatever, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and that was the traffic model because it was just outrageous, and we could get all these people to a website that wanted to see this article about this, and then it turned. So it turned probably about, I want to say it was about 2000. It was about 2014, I think, somewhere in that area where
Well,
they
that
said,
late, yeah,
yeah, they all of a sudden they realize that they're going to get, maybe 1 million people to read an article about Paris Hilton giving a blowjob, but they're going to get 5 million people that come to a website because somebody beat somebody to death. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
do it
they,
myself, bro. When I'm scrolling, yeah,
yeah. So you want to see, and it's sad because if you look at the videos that I have up, the one that gets the most traffic is about an 89-year-old Asian woman that was set on fire in New York City.
yeah. I know. I noticed that. Yeah,
And that has 4 times the traffic of any other video that I have.
yeah.
Because
It's
people want to
crazy.
people want to see other people in pain.
Yeah, misery because it put it makes you feel a bit better, makes them feel a bit better about where they are. I don't know. I just watch fight videos because it's at the time. But no, you're right. When you talk about it on a grand scheme of things and talk about it in volume, mate, yeah, misery sells more than sex,
Misery,
mate. It used to be sex sells, right? It's misery sells.
misery loves company,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah,
the old
yeah,
phrase, misery loves company, and
yeah.
we're in a pretty bad place. If you use, do you use like Ahrefs or SEMrush or any of those tools?
A little bit at the moment. I'm starting to do a little bit of SEO work. I do want to provide that as a service if I keep the agency going. So I'm sort of having a bit of a play. Yeah,
So within Ahrefs, I would go in and I would look up using their keyword tools. I would go in and I would look for
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
And literally, I had a client that had like a horse business. I forget what you call it, farrier, right? They put horseshoes on horses. So
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm doing all of these, all of this keyword research, and I just type in the word horse. Okay, I type in the word horse in Keyword Explorer, and I start going through the list, and it's like, well, 250,000 people a month look for the term horse in the United States. Well, what's the number 2 search? Girl fucks horse.
Yeah, girl
Really?
fucks. Yeah, 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 yeah,
And then like the 5th one was man kicked by horse. And I'm like, these people are
yeah,
fucked up. What are people
yeah, yeah,
searching
yeah,
for on the
yeah,
internet? They want to see horse porn, and people dying by getting kicked by a horse. That's fucked up.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
we got so then I go back to the client. I'm like, he's like, well, how many people look for a horse farrier? Where's that at? And I'm like, well, it's like 97th, dude. You know what I mean? And I don't
It's
know. And
four
he's like,
clicks a month.
yeah. But if you can lead people into the website using horse porn and people getting kicked by horses, and then try and sell, shoeing horses on the side, you'll be successful, right?
Yeah. Fuck's sake.
I don't know, man. I hope that we don't wear off on you guys. I mean, I think we already kind of are, but man,
Nah, maybe I don't know. Not every Aussie's involved heavily in American networks as I am. I don't know, mate.
yeah,
I used to assume I used to assume a little bit, but I'm the type of person to solidly assume something without data. Data's my mentor. You know what I mean? If there's no data there, there's no facts, mate. It's all hearsay. So,
yeah,
but I don't know, man. Getting amongst the American communities, it's pretty similar. The ratios are pretty similar. Who's dumb? Who's smart? Who's a crook? It's all pretty similar. There's no, we do
well,
dumb shit too. I don't know what Aussies are thinking. There's fucking some dumb stories around here. Like
you
I
know,
had a search last night, another separate thing. I had a search of the local sex pests, mate. I never knew you could search locally who were the sex pests, the sex predators, mate, the registered sex offenders. There's fucking quite a bit around here, eh? Man,
you
Australia's another country, another Western nation, man.
you you look at your neighbors a little bit differently now, don't you? You're like that
Yeah.
fucker lives 4 hours down from me.
No, I wouldn't be here if there was one 4 doors down. I'll put it that way. I probably would be, but fucking, I'd be going to court in about a month, I reckon. If there was one close living in my street, I tell you, I'd drag him straight out, mate. You fucking can't get out. It's funny, bro. I grew up on a little. I don't know if you look up Carrington. It's a suburb in Newcastle, New South Wales. That's where I live. It's a little It was basically an island that was built up, a man-made island that was built up over the last 300 years in the Newcastle Harbour. You know, so it's existed for about 230 years, I reckon. But it turned into the water side, the shipping, you know, transport hub of Newcastle. Really, all the ports and wharfs were set up here. So, all the wharfies they were always working at the docks in Melbourne or Sydney, Port Kembla, or Newcastle here. So, we always grew up with hard men. You know, we always had even the kids that grew up with no dads around here, man. They grew up fucking hard, you know, and straight. And one of the stories when I talk about when people bring up sex pests and pedophiles online and that, it was a bit different. I don't know if it was because we grew up with a big pack of kids, but I'll tell one story. One story that was we were in year 6 at primary school, and it's so funny because you mentioned battery acid earlier, and this dude that I'm talking about is involved in the battery acid story too. He was basically he was a local drug addict back in the day, you know, but I don't know what he did. But either way, someone sold him some drugs that weren't drugs; they were battery acid, and it fried. I don't know what, but that happened that happened before my time. That did, but he's 6 now at primary school, and he was known local to the area a little bit. But he tried to call one of my mate's sisters over to the school fence, you know, and we're like, hey, that's a bit fucking sus, you know, and you know, instead of like any other kid, you know, we went looking for the trouble after school, you know. If there was a pedophile on the island, like with this story and another story, man, we'd go smash their house up and then go and get one of the local men, you know, and say, boys, he's a fucking pedophile. And this time we all looked for him and we couldn't find him after school. And we went. I won't say his name. I don't know if he's even alive anymore, but you know, Wesley Snipes in Blade, that's how this dude dressed, you know. He was a local man, he was a hard man, but he dressed like Blade, and really hard man, mate. The shades, the black coat, you know. We went down to the flats down near the bridge and told him, you know, we found him. He just got on the bus down up that end of the island, you know. The bus has got to do a couple of routes and then stop here in a second. So old mate went and got on the bus and pulled his samurai sword out of his coat, just put it to his throat, and said, "You ever come back, mate? You're dead, mate. Get out of here. You're dead." So I don't know. We grew up with the means to be able to harass them, you know, harass the pedophiles or the people, I don't know, the bad people, the thieves. You know, we'd go looking for them as kids.
So my claim to fame as an elementary school kid, now it probably started in junior high school, but you know, back then you could, you know, you had payphones all over the place, right? And it cost a phone call. So when I got pissed off at a kid, and this is torture. I mean, this is bullying at its best.
Bullying the shit out. Yeah. You're about to kill him.
Well, what I would do is when they pissed me off in the morning, I would just tell them, "Hey, you know what? It's okay. I'm just going to ride your bus home with you today." Okay.
Yeah.
And then the whole school day would go through, "Hey, you know, no big deal, right? We'll handle it after school. I'll just ride your bus home with you, and I'll get off at your stop and I'll whip your ass." Right?
Yeah.
I always had a pocket full of quarters. So, and I would do that, right? I mean, it was just like nonchalant. Like I never grew up fearing anybody, and which is a very bad trait to have. So
Yeah, a little bit.
I think it was like the ninth grade. My mother finally complained because, you know, I'd get off the bus with whoever and I'd whip their ass. Then I'd go find a payphone and call my mom to come pick me up. Right. So finally she complained to the school that, you know, somebody needed to walk me out to my bus every day because I was obviously confused and couldn't figure out which bus to get on because I'd called her so many times from the other side of town. Little does she know. I mean, well, she might watch this show. Who knows?
Yeah, I just realized just then she didn't know what you were doing.
Oh no, she had no clue, and I was like, Mom, got on the wrong bus again today. I don't know what happened. I was talking to some friends, and just ended up on the wrong bus. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's
But
pretty common here. I thought you were going to add another bit then. I thought you were going to say your mum was already aware, and
no,
she could play to the school. She could play to the school and you trouble. Because what happens around here a lot with schools, a lot of the young relatives, they'll be getting picked on, and you'll hear about it for months. And you'll tell them to finally do something about it, or you'll tell them to complain, and they're all the kid that's getting picked on around here is always the one that gets in trouble, man. I don't know why.
well,
The
so
bully, yeah.
did I ever tell you about the first time I got suspended from school? I was
Nah, no,
I
no, no.
I was in the second grade. Okay. Now my older brother, he was always a pussy. He was a sixth grader when I was in the second grade. And he was
Yeah,
he was he was in a fight with this kid named Bill Tanner. I'll never forget him. And Bill Tanner was whipping my older brother's ass. So I came across the top of the bus seat with my metal Popeye lunchbox, right? And you could use them like brass knuckles,
yeah.
what I mean?
Little suitcase, yeah.
Yes, I just started whipping on Bill Tanner, and we get to school, and we all have to go see the principal, but they get sent to class, and my dad gets called because I get suspended. So the second
Yeah.
grader gets suspended for beating up a sixth grader, and my dad shows up, and he's like, so let me get this straight. My second grade son was standing up for his sixth grader brother who was getting beat up by another sixth grader, and you're suspending him. And my principal, Mr. Mangold, he's probably dead now, but Mr. Mangold looks at me and he said, "Tell him why." I look at my dad and I said, "Because nobody's allowed to beat up Brian but me, my brother."
Such a kid thing to say. Yeah. Not because he was beating on my brother, because I'm only allowed to do that.
Yeah,
He's pissing in my yard. Get in your.
boom, 3 days off, man, 3 days off. So, hey, I gotta, here's the thing, man. I gotta bring up the critters because I don't know how many Australian friends I need to have before one of you guys will be brave enough to send me over a Joey.
I've already got a. If I had a clean record, man, I'd take the risk. Yeah. No, I don't. I don't know. You can buy them over there, can't you? If you do it legit, you can.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know. I don't,
here's the thing. We can have them shipped to us. And
yeah,
then I would have to pay a $500 fee to license that animal as a pet here, right?
yeah. That's weird, man. We can't do that stuff.
But I'm not allowed to buy one from you, which is weird. Like if you guys could figure out how to ship me a kangaroo, I just have to pay $500 a year and I can have it as a pet.
I don't think we're allowed to. I think we'll get in big trouble. I don't think it's really. We can't do that. Like we can't get Man, I can't just go and get a fucking tiger or a fucking shit like that. We can't do that. But then again, from your perspective, we have all the wildlife here already, but we're oblivious to them, man.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
I
know.
mean,
We can't get imported animals here are really, really bad. Like I don't know. There's not really a market here anymore. I don't know.
so
There is. Don't get me wrong, reptiles and stuff like that. But man, I don't think people own tigers and bears and shit here.
so we have this Outback Steakhouse. I don't know if you guys have those there,
Yeah,
but I just want to have a big fucking 7 foot tall red kangaroo with some boxing gloves, wearing a diaper, and take him in as my service animal, my PTSD animal, right? Because I'm a disabled vet, so I can get a service animal and I can have any kind of animal I want. So I want a fucking kangaroo and take him into Outback Steakhouse with me, right? And you
I
can't
don't
do
think
it.
you'd be able to. I don't
it
know. I don't know if you tame it to that level. He might kick the fuck out of a couple of people. He might
I'm okay
like a
with that.
bull in the china shop. Yeah, that's all right.
Do they really get 7 foot tall?
Man, some of them get heaps big, bro. Some of them get 9 foot. You might read on the internet, but some of them get big, bro. Some of the big reds, they get.
Yeah, that's what I want,
They get
man.
big, man. They get big.
I think, honest to God, man, that's how we deal with the protesters. We just bring in a whole bunch of them red kangaroos with some boxing gloves, right? And unleash them on the
Yeah,
protesters.
yeah. Oh, the gloves are all for show anyway. That's what people think they're going to throw a punch, mate. They jump on their back tail and boom,
Yeah,
legs.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
They just start, doing this
yeah.
and bang, right?
No, they do it. They get that little, it's heaps good.
Yeah.
I like it. I love them.
Well,
They're only really
I'm gonna keep trying. I need to have a baby kangaroo here as a pet. I'm not gonna lie. And if it
yeah,
pisses me off,
yeah.
I'll just watch it bounce around the neighborhood. You know?
They're pretty cool. Like I've done it. One of my best mates lives right up north inland, and mate, that's plagued by him, mate. That's plagued by him up there, but it's so good. I think I might have showed you a photo of him with that little one in his lounge room that walked in his house. That little
Well,
one. Did I
even
show
you
you?
guys,
That's about a foot tall.
yeah, you guys have like the little wallabies or something too, right? They're the little
Yeah,
ones.
that's mainly they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They probably grow 5 foot max. They're plagued, mate. They're plagued. They're absolutely plagued. Maybe not. Obviously not in the cities and that. But if I go, I could go 40 minutes. And
Kind of
then
like kind of
hundreds,
like
thousands.
kind of like deer here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
we have deer all over the place. You guys don't have deer there, do you?
We do. Yeah, we do. We do.
Wow, you have deer
I
and
was only
kangaroo.
talking about that today. I was only talking about that today with a friend that lives down the south coast. I was telling him about my drive. We had to seek refuge in Victoria, which is the state below us. About a 900k drive, which is about what's 900k in miles. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, 16. Yeah. Anyway, off the point of the story, but during that drive, it was nighttime. It was we had to we drove at night. The roads were really icy and had to concentrate. And then all of a sudden, I knew we had deer here, but I didn't know how plagued they were in that region, in the Snowy River region. Because we get snow here and that. We've got a pretty big mountain, pretty close. But that region, man, I would have dodged probably on that one drive 80 deer. Like, no, it wasn't too far, but through that region, they were plagued more than the kangaroos up north. I've never seen a deer in my life, and then all of a sudden, I thought I was dreaming at first, but now I know that there's big deer populations in New South Wales, eh? I knew there was up north, but I thought it was a seasonal hunting thing. Like, so through hunting, I know they exist. I know there's lots of them, but I thought you'd have to, travel to certain properties they always did to go hunting them, and then all of a sudden, mate, I've drove past here 4 times in 2 weeks, and I've nearly ran over 700 of them. Yeah,
We have that
we
here.
have deer.
So we have, Minnesota is kind of a unique state, because it's really tall north to south, and further north you get towards Canada. It borders on Canada. You have
Yeah,
you have moose, you have elk, you have bears, you have all kinds of stuff here in Minnesota that they don't really have elsewhere, and you just kind of get
yeah.
used to it. But I don't know. I mean, what's the scariest animal? Like if you said, I don't want to come across this animal in Australia.
Oh, I don't know. Probably if I was in the bush with no protection, probably a wild pig. Eh?
Yeah,
They're pretty nasty, the old wild pigs, bro. But no, it'd have to be the saltwater croc, bro. 100%. Have to be the
yeah.
saltwater crocodile. Yeah, done.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. Are they like? I mean, so one of my passions is to snorkel the or scuba dive the Great Barrier Reef,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Good. Yeah.
I'm like, man, you guys have box jellyfish there. You guys have crocodiles. You guys have all these, you have lionfish there. You have what do you call them? Stonefish. I'm like,
Stonefish, yeah.
I'm like, all that shit's deadly. I mean,
It's just like the media, but bro, the media pokes out the scary elements, mate. The misery sells. Scare, you know. It's the
Sure.
same thing, bro. You won't. It's sort of the element definitely exists there.
And then I think was it Mikey or was it Aaron that was like, yeah, but don't forget about the sharks. I was like, motherfucker, I forgot all about the sharks too. Right. Swimming away from
they're always
sharks.
there. That's the thing I love, you know. So I don't. You'd live quite far away from the coast, wouldn't you?
Oh no.
No.
Well, me here. Oh yeah. I live. I can't get to the ocean within 1,000, 1,500 miles in any direction.
Oh right,
So
yeah, cool. Yeah.
I don't know what.
So basically, where I'm from in Newcastle, people have, you know, they got really big on and it was Australia wide too. About 15 years ago, 10 years ago, everyone got really big on, you know, all the shark attacks, and all of a sudden there's sharks everywhere. They're so clueless. If they've gone for a swim at the beach here, they've swum on top of a shark. If you've swum more than 15 times at a beach in Australia, mate, you've swum with a shark. But people, when they started kicking up a big stink about it, you know, people were culling sharks, and you know, we've got to stop the sharks coming to this area, and sharks are really starting to come close to land and really attack people. And so they've always been there. They have not. Nothing has changed in their habits. Nothing has changed. They have been there. You just have not noticed them. Now you notice them. Yeah.
So I just looked. I am close. The closest ocean water to me is over 2,400 kilometers away from me.
Wow. I thought it was bad when I was in Gippsland in Victoria. I was about 150 kilometers, which is, you know.
Yeah, that's about 100 miles, roughly.
Yeah, 1.6
Yeah.
k's to a mile. Yeah, 1,600 meters.
So
Okay.
yeah, I got quite a ways before I ever get to the ocean. But I love the ocean. I mean, when I go on vacation, I want to see the ocean.
Yeah.
May
Yeah,
as
I
well.
love it. I love the code.
So,
But it amazes me.
so tell me more about I don't know, tell me more about Australia, or I can tell you more about America, I guess. I mean, at some point, you know.
Yeah, what can I tell you? You think I'd be able to talk all day?
Yeah. Well, you know, I'll share
What do we
this with
have?
let me share this with you. Every foreigner that comes over, they want to go see Las Vegas. Okay? And
Yeah,
I've been to
pretty
Vegas.
much. Yeah.
Let me save you the trip. Las Vegas is a shithole. Just save your money and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You
No,
get to
I'm more.
go ahead.
No, you're right. Yeah, the wife likes Canada. She wants to check out Canada. She's about the scenic shit, you know. What looks good, you know, beautiful places and that. Not really. Let's go party, go gambling. Go back 5 years ago, you know, Vegas would probably be the spot. But we've been talking about it, you know, holidays over there, having a bit of a look. But if the borders ever open again,
Vegas, they legalized marijuana, and so I was there last August, and I've always hated Vegas. Anyways, not always. I mean, the first, I don't know, 20 times I went to Vegas, it was kind of worn out after that. Right? But recently, so when I was there last August, it was 114 degrees Fahrenheit. You guys are Celsius, so that'd be 34 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Right? Which is fucking
standard
hot.
summer day, pretty hot. Standard summer day here.
Yeah. So, you know, so it's 34 degrees Celsius, I think. I'd have to look it up. 114 degrees. They legalized marijuana. So everybody's walking around and it's hot as shit in Vegas, and all you can smell is dirty feet and weed.
Dirty feet, fucking.
Because everybody's sweating, so it just smells like dirty feet and weed. And I was
yeah.
You guys just destroyed Vegas, you know, or they did when they legalized it.
What draws people to Vegas? Are there casinos elsewhere? Is it just the biggest congregation of gambling, or is it the only really place? Because in Australia, in Western Australia, there's no poker machines in pubs anywhere. There's one casino in Perth, which is the capital city of and Western Australia is nearly half of Australia, man. You know, there's not one casino there, not one poker machine. You cannot gamble unless you go to the casino in Perth. But New South Wales, mate, you go to a pub, mate. If you want to lose $4,000 right now, I'll take you to the pub. We'll chuck a couple of 50s in. We'll have a slap, and there's your $4,000 gone. You know.
So Vegas is more about the overall. You have all of the entertainment, the shows,
I forgot it's a big hot spot for the people. People take their shows there for like a couple of years, eh? Their tours and stuff.
You can go see Britney Spears tonight, Celine Dion tomorrow night, the Magician dude the day after that. You could see all of them in a day if you stagger it right. And
yeah, right, I'm with you.
It's just no expense spared. So you can go from gambling to going to watch a UFC fight to, you know what I mean? There's just so many things to do in Vegas.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, in the best restaurants you could ever imagine are in Vegas.
Yeah.
But do that once or twice. But if you had, so here's the thing for you and your wife. All right. If you guys come over to the United States, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Yeah. There's a place called Mackinac Island. All right. And if your wife really likes scenery and kind of the whole experience, stay at a place called the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island.
Yeah.
And it's in between Lower Peninsula, Michigan and Upper Peninsula, Michigan.
Yeah.
And they have a dress code after 6, horse-drawn carriages. It's all just this beautiful, beautiful thing. I mean, if you want to get the experience, that's it.
Yeah, no, look it up.
It's pretty slick. But you're still young. I mean, there's, you know, you're a little bit younger than me, but wow, you know, you have the kids and everything. Are you gonna bring the kids?
Yeah, I'm old man. Yeah, I'm an old man. I'm a family man now, bro.
Yeah.
With the you know, no partying for us. No partying for us.
Mackinac Island would be, if you came over to, you know, to North America and you had one place to visit that was just so full of richness.
Yeah,
I would put my finger right on that. And then you can go over and, you know, from there you can go over and take a ferry over and see the Sault Ste. Marie locks, and, you know, go on tours about the big shipping vessels, and it's just outstanding.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. I'll be searching that up when I get off here. Show her.
Do you hear all of the fireworks?
I just heard a couple of pops. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the protesters and the rioters. That's how close it is.
Oh, is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, hear that? Fuck.
Yeah. What they do here is they start firing off these commercial fireworks, and then they're testing the police response to see how long it takes to get to different areas. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's Saturday night.
Yeah, especially when they're basing that data off, you know, the police took 25 minutes to get to this place. It's like, yeah, because they knew what you were doing and they didn't give a fuck. So go and do something there. They might be there in 5 minutes, mate. So
yeah. So what they'll do is they'll call them to this area, and then they'll call them over to this area, and while they're going over to this area where they just came from, they'll light something on fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's like a shot game that they're playing. It's unfortunate. But
are they giving it to them or what? Are the coppers giving it to them? Are the coppers giving it to them, or just sort of?
No, because here we're talking about defunding the police and dismantling the police, and the police just don't even show up anymore.
Yeah, I sort of stay out of that whole argument, with the you know, we're all from different areas, but I've always had a problem with the police, Like locally, I've always had that.
You know,
don't defund them, but man, if people want the police defunded, well, then you're going to have fucking people like I was 15 years. No, I was a good person anyway. I only used to fuck with people that were shit people, you know. But
yeah,
I don't know. I've always just kept my mouth shut because Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, see, I grew up
It's a
being
personal thing. It's yeah. That's why I keep it a bit quiet.
see, I grew up I learned to not trust the police growing up. That's how I was
Yeah,
raised
yeah.
because
So
where I was raised, you didn't roll your window down more than a quarter of an inch to shove your license out the window because any more than that, they'd throw drugs in your car and then bust you for drugs. So
yeah,
that's
no, we
how I,
never had it that bad. Never had it
but but at the same time,
that bad. But I've been set.
but they're
That's
still
me one.
necessary. They're still necessary. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, that's it. Dad, like man, don't get me wrong. I don't fucking like. You can't, like I said it before, like about the Aussie dude talking about the Americans. You can't really talk collectively about one group of people. You can never talk collect. People are not robots, man. You can't. People have different opinions and different things drive different people. You can't talk about people collectively. So I can't really talk about the police collectively. But yeah,
they're
I've always had a big drama with them. But being a dad, man, like what? Do you really want to raise your kids in an area where fucking man? They do get pedophiles, mate, but they get bad people off the street, mate. Like you can't be a dad and say you want the police defunded, but I really don't. I can't say I don't like the police, but I don't like local police. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. You can't.
yeah,
You're an idiot if you want to defund the police. You're a fucking idiot.
I agree. I mean,
I'll put it there.
when they first started talking about it here, I was like, well, just let them talk, let them get it off their chest because that'll never happen, right? I mean, that was the initial response that I took, and then all of a sudden, they were talking about they voted, like 9-0, the city council to not defund the police, dismantle the police, just get rid of them
Yeah,
all. And I was like, these fucking assholes are serious, right? I mean, these
it's
people
all
have
a master plan. Yeah,
these
yeah.
people have lost their fucking minds. But
Do
we
they live
have,
local? Do they live?
oh yeah, yeah, well, kind of. I mean, they do because they have to live within their district to
So
be
what
elected.
happens when these rioters that have proved that they'll just smash anything that's in their way? What happens when that rioters in that council person's backyard? Like,
Well,
what happens then?
they have their own private security that we
Of
pay
course
for,
they do. Yeah,
right?
yeah, I know. Yeah,
It's the people that don't want borders have really tall fences around their house.
yeah,
So it's all just hypocrisy. I mean,
yeah, 100%.
and it's funny because I'll be in an argument with somebody on the left, like the Democrats, we call them the left,
Yeah,
and then
man. Oh,
and then we
yeah,
have the Republicans on the right, and the Republicans will call me a snowflake, and the Democrats, they'll call me like a Nazi racist or something
yeah.
and I'm like, fuck, none of you guys like me.
You'll get fucked.
I'm just the one that doesn't choose a gang or doesn't choose a side.
Yeah, I
But
don't. I don't pick. Yeah, when both sides of the, they're just one head of the same snake anyway. When it comes to fucking left and right,
right.
and you want to be proud because you're attached here. That's attached to your enemy.
Yeah.
Cunt. You're a fuck. Get the fuck out of here, cunt.
It's like, what's your guys' sport there? Is it rugby or cricket or what's your most popular
NRL,
sport?
yeah, league.
What is,
Oh, where I am in New South Wales rugby league. So rugby.
okay. So it's almost the equivalent of, you have two different rugby teams and that's our politics. So, if your favorite rugby team is your local team, and somebody comes in and they're like, yeah, fuck them, they suck and blah blah blah, you're gonna have a good percentage of those people that are gonna be like, kick his ass, kill him, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
That's how our politics is. You know, it's like two teams and they're all wearing different jerseys, but there's only two teams. So they just keep beating
yeah.
the shit out of each other nonstop. I don't know.
It's good to be able to sit back and watch it.
Well, but sometimes it gets annoying because, you
Yeah.
know, imagine who's the rugby team there?
Oh, heaps. It's a local code type of thing, you know what I mean? Like
Okay,
where I am in Newcastle, it's the Knights, Newcastle Knights, you know?
okay, so imagine if the Newcastle Knights, who's one of the other teams that they play, if they only played that team over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you'd be like, I'm tired of watching the same game over and over and
Yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah. There's no dynamic, mate. It's static.
Yeah.
Stale.
But then you walked in and all of a sudden you said, hey, you know what? Um, I want to watch different teams play. Fuck you, you're a traitor, right?
Yeah, yeah.
On one team.
Fucking hell. I don't know how anyone, man. I don't know how anyone would associate themselves with Biden today. Like, come on, man. He's a hot man. Behavior like that, you can't, bro.
None of them.
He's a sus cunt, bro. He's a sus cunt.
It-
He's
it-
definitely touched kids, bro.
Yeah, but it's none of them. You know what I mean? It's like when I sit there and I watch all of them and you know I think you've seen this on social media. I said, well, it's not that I'm voting for Trump, it's that I'm voting against the Democrats, right?
Yeah.
Because me being the guy looking from the sidelines watching both teams, I'm like, who's the least retarded? You
Well,
know what
that's
I mean?
me from Australia, you know. Like, I don't have to vote, but if I said to you before, man, fucking Trump's not bad. Fucking, if I had to vote, you know, I'm from here, so I don't even have to have an opinion if I don't want to. But if I'm to have an opinion, I'm going for the other dude because I don't like old dirty fucking men. Hey, you have a dude or Family Guy, the fuck, what's his name?
Yeah,
The
what's
old
it?
tent from Family Guy.
Oh, creepy Joe, right?
Yeah,
Then
creepy Joe. Oh, his name's Joe too. Fuck.
yeah, so I have, you have what's his name, Trump, right? I call him Daddy Yam because he looks like a big fat yam, just an orange thing. But it's like, well, I can vote for what I maybe don't agree with, but I already know what it is.
Yeah.
Or I can vote for whatever the fuck that is, right? The
Yeah.
dude,
And its potential.
right? It's I don't know. And the funny part, Nate, is I've never voted in my life.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you hear about like the silent majority,
Yeah.
they're causing me to vote. You know what I
You don't
mean?
get fined? Do you get fined or anything?
Do I get fined?
Penalized. Like, do you get penalized if you don't vote?
No, no. It's just
No. We
for
get
me,
penalized here. Got
really.
$200, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get penalized, but I just didn't register to vote because I was in the army, and when I got out of the army, I didn't register
A
to vote.
similar thing. A
I
similar
didn't.
thing happened here, but they got on top of the people
I
who
didn't.
didn't register. People who didn't register.
I didn't want to be called back to the army, so I just didn't register.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
now so now like the beginning of the year, I was like, man, there's some really. I've only really been into politics for I don't know 7 months, eight
Yeah.
months,
Yeah.
because finally I started reading the news and I was like, man, this is really fucked up, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't know this was that bad. Who's controlling this place over here? Like, what the fuck's going on here?
It's kind of like waking up one day and then finally looking at all your neighbors and you're like, I've never even looked at my neighbors before. You guys are seriously fucked up. I need to put
Yeah,
my house
proper
for
reality check.
yeah. I never
Yeah.
I never watched the news or read the news
No,
until
I don't.
this
I
year.
don't anymore. Oh, really? Until this?
Yeah.
At least you built a good judgment up before that. Fucking. You're not
Hey,
silly anyway, but
all I want to be able to do is get high and carry a gun to my gay friend's wedding. I really don't give a shit.
yeah.
Let people do let people do whatever the fuck they want to do. And I don't really do drugs. But I don't really give a shit what anybody else does as long as they're not hurting other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. People need to, man, fucking people need to drop their opinions on certain shit. That'd be a big change to, you know?
Yeah.
It all comes down to people having opinions that shouldn't have an opinion.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let's say I'm sure you have some ideas or some opinions that other people think are a little bit far right or far out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I put up
the
stuff sometimes and lose a couple of friends instantly. Yeah, I do that.
but you could literally come to me and say, "Hey, I think that everybody should legally be required to wear purple every Wednesday." You know what I mean? And I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I don't necessarily agree with you, but I don't really disagree with you either." You know what I mean? That's your opinion.
Because it doesn't affect me really.
Right. And so your opinion is valuable to you, and my opinion is valuable to me, and I'm never going to try and change your opinion because I think that's what
Yeah,
friends really do.
I've noticed a lot of people, they'll be leveraging a certain point in some type of argument. We'll just use politics or something as an example, and they fail to internally factor the perspective element. They they forget perspective's an element. Like that's your point of view from where you're standing. Not everyone's standing where you stand, and you want to change everything for everyone, but we're not all standing where you're standing. People don't. It's like perspective doesn't exist anymore. It's like, oh, this feels right to me, so it's right for everyone, and let's change the law. Let's just fucking.
And, and,
I
and,
don't.
and, and if you disagree, I'm just going to yell louder than you, right? And I'm going to yell
Yeah,
at.
yeah. And then I'm going to hit you, and I'm going to get in trouble, and you're going to still sit there like a fucking idiot and get away with your shit while I'm in jail. So,
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just a crazy world. I keep telling everybody I want to live off grid. I want to literally
I do.
just I want to put myself in a position where I don't have to deal with people anymore, and just
Yeah, that's sort of my overall goal, eh? The only thing's been that, because myself, we've always sort of got to be, near a hospital. But other than that, man, we've seriously considered moving fucking 500 kilometers inland, and no power, no water, fucking not no power or water, but you know, at first, yeah, solar. But I want to be off the grid, bro, proper. I don't want fucking people and government changes, whatever the fuck's happening over there. Keep it over there. I'm just here catching my own food, cooking my own shit, and growing my own food. Oh, you fucking stay over there. That's
so,
what I overall want to do.
so I've been looking at this island that's off the coast of Florida here. It's been for
Yeah,
sale for a while. It's 120 acres, I think. Maybe
yeah,
I think it's 120 acres, which is a lot of land. And I
yeah,
joke around. I joke around with people. It's close to Florida, but you have to take a boat, right? I mean, there's no bridge to get
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
And so I've been joking around. I was like, yeah, I really want to buy this island, and I want to rename it. And Anthony, the one of the guys I talk to all the time, he's like, well, what would you name it? I was like, Stay Off My. And he's like,
yeah, yeah.
what? I was
Stay
like,
off
yeah,
my.
well, think about it. When you look at it from Google Maps, it'll say "Stay off my island," right?
That's pretty good. There was a
And
nice island for sale here, about 2 million. Buddy, I like that. I stay off my.
yeah, I think it's catchy. But this was 120 acres, and they only wanted 500,000 for it.
Yeah. Oh, this island I was talking about, it had it was $2.8 million, but it had a fucking
Had a nice
$3
house on
million
it.
house on the car. Yeah, yeah.
This island,
dream a while ago, unrealistic dream. Yeah.
this island has never had anything built on it. That was the appeal to
Yeah.
it. I didn't have to worry
And what
about
happened here?
do what?
Yeah, we have certain things here. Like, so if the land's not certain, certain land is available for sale, especially local. There's certain blocks of land I'd love to buy for like they're like $20,000, bro. And they're right on the ocean. But they're not allowed to be built on in
Why not?
Australia. You can use it as I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened 100 years ago when they subdivided land in Australia. But certain pockets of land, I'll send you a link later to a couple of the sites for sale. So you can, I think it's to do with council things like they're in a council area, they're in a local council area, but there's no water, plumbing, or electricity supply there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it, eh? But it's a big region up 90 blocks of land for sale, but you can buy it and you can come and sit your caravan here for 3 months a year and, 3 months, go away, come back. You can use it as a holiday site, but you're not allowed to build permanent structures on it for some reason. I don't know why. A lot of weird shit around here, eh? Got to look into that.
Well,
Got to look into
it. It's Australia is kind of a mystery. And have you ever heard of the one thing I wanted to ask you, because they really drown it out here, is have you ever heard of this company called Qbiotics?
Qbiotics. Not off the top of my head, no.
So it's an Australian company, and I would look this up because they came up with this cancer drug, and it's called EBC46, and we try and follow it here, but
yeah.
We can't really see a whole bunch of information on our end because it seems like it's blocked. But the American pharmaceutical companies have been trying to shut that down. It's kind of crazy if you read about it.
Yeah. So you can't have certain links through VPN and reroute your IP and make them think you're in Australia. It doesn't.
Yeah. So what I do is I use one of my VPSs out of France, and I'll actually look up the stuff that I want to find from Australia, from Qbiotics and all of that stuff, and that's how I engage and find that information. I can't even find it here, because the big pharmaceuticals are just shutting it down. But it's crazy. I was just curious if you ever heard about it. I mean, I'm kind of excited about that.
I've heard of the compound. I haven't heard of the company. I've heard of the compound. I'll look up. I'll look into it. Eh?
Yeah,
I've heard of that compound. I've read about it before. I think it comes out of Melbourne. A research facility that is in Melbourne. One of the universities in Melbourne work on it. I think I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'd love to have a further conversation with you about that, because I mean,
for sure.
I think they're just going into human trials now, but they're actually showing that it cures breast cancer and prostate cancer in 48 hours, which is huge.
Oh, wow. I've heard of it in there. Yeah, I'm going to look right into it.
And
man, I get right into the medical side of things. Like, if I'm just doing research for myself, if it's not to do with, information for my company, if I'm just doing a leisurely thing, it'll always end up on medical. I don't know why. I'll always end up on a medical topic, researching something medical. So I don't know.
I guess one of the things that I admire about Australia, and I don't think that people realize the value of Australia versus even the rest of the world. If you look at Africa or even South America with the rainforest, is the rainforest of Australia, and how many opportunities that you have in your country based on some of the things that only grow there. That, I mean, if you look at aluminum and you look at do what? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was just agreeing certain minerals and stuff.
Yeah, so like the blushwood berry trees and tea tree oil, the melaleuca oil. There's just so many things in Australia that have tremendous benefits, and I don't even
Yeah.
think people realize it.
Especially I mentioned before the my family, my Aboriginal family are very, the Aboriginal people of Australia for 50,000 years, man, have used our plants and our medicines to cure some pretty amazing shit, eh? They're aware of it all too, eh? Like everything we're finding out now, I'll go and ask my auntie, bro. She's the elder of the Warramai tribe. She'll know. She'll be like, yeah, this plant does this, this, and that. Bloody. There's a weed. There's a weed that grows here on everyone's lawn, right? It grows on everyone's lawn. It's called wild lettuce, and it's a weed to everyone. It's just a weed, but it's actually used by the Aboriginals as a sedative and pain medication. It's actually supposed to be stronger than some forms of morphine, when you boil it up, but it's natural. And I told someone the other day, they're like, nah, it's bullshit, mate. I'm like, mate, I'm telling you, it's wild lettuce. I'll look it up right now. Boom, 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 boom. See? Wild lettuce. This is what it's good for. And how'd you know that? Fucking, mate. Mate, the native people have been on this land for fucking 60,000 years, mate. They know what every plant does for everything.
It's kind of like the bitter, I think it's called bitter melon that grows in Asia.
Almond. Yeah, it has the vitamin B17 in it or something.
Yeah, and just the health effects, but I don't know.
It's illegal there, hey?
It's what? I'm sorry?
Is that illegal in America? Or is that just a hoax?
I don't know. I mean, we have what's the one that I own? What the hell is that stuff called? I own a whole bunch of the digital assets surrounding the name because I'm hoping that it actually becomes legalized. Kratom or something like that.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So when I started hearing the buzz about it, and I do this a lot, I'll actually go in and I'll hear something, and then I'll hear people's interest in it, and then I'll turn around and buy all the digital assets around it.
Yeah.
And then I'll just sit on them until it becomes popular. But
yeah,
I don't know. So yeah, if Kratom becomes legal, I already, a guy that owns a whole bunch of stuff around that already.
Yeah, sick. No, I look into it a bit too. No, that's cool. But yeah, I was under the impression, that the bitter almond tree and certain things like that are actually illegal in America. That's not true.
It could be. I don't really know. I mean, it seems like the stuff here is only approved and only becomes legal when they figured out a way to capitalize on it and tax it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they don't legalize marijuana. I mean, here it's legal in certain parts of the country, but overall, I mean, right here in Minnesota, only for medical use. You have to have a medical card. And I don't smoke. I don't smoke marijuana.
Yeah, same here. You gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah. They Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's one of the politicians here. So Canberra or Canberra, you might call it. It's the capital of Australia, but it's actually inside New South Wales. The ACT. So the state Canberra's the capital of the ACT, but the ACT actually resides in New South Wales. So one of the independent politicians was bringing up the point about how much the politicians down in Canberra, because this is where all our politics and government's based, in Canberra, in the ACT. And her name was Jackie Lambie. She brought up how much the politicians actually smoke illegal drugs and how much pot they actually smoke. And within 2 weeks, it was legal in Canberra, but it's illegal here still. You could have under 3.5 grams, 2 plants, but you've always been allowed shits in Canberra for 30 years. They had a 1 plant, but illegal everywhere in the country, highly illegal. People are in jail for it, but you're allowed to grow 1 plant per person in Canberra for the last 30 years. But as soon as she started letting the cat out of the bag, they legalized it, So it's really weird story behind that. It's pretty funny, eh?
I think I'm leaning towards this whole idea of classism. And it seems like classism is becoming more and more real, not just here in the US, but
Segregation and tears.
yeah. And that's scary because you
Yeah,
have, so here, one of the things when they pushed out the stimulus money, the stimulus checks out to everybody, is I was
yeah.
looking at the metrics and I said, wow, um, 93% of the entire country here got a stimulus check. I didn't,
Same here, man. No, neither did I.
but
How long are we going to pay that back for? Are our grandkids going to pay that back?
that's not what's scary though. What's
Yeah,
scary is 93% of the country qualified for a stimulus check. That means that 93% of the
yeah,
country is poor. They're part of the poverty class. And I thought,
yeah. But
wow,
the criteria in Australia to getting the stimulus was really loose. That was a big thing in Australia. The criteria was very loose. You didn't really necessarily have to be. So you lost your job, right, because of COVID. Um, no worries. You lost your job. You were working during COVID and you lost your job. So we'll give you the stimulus. But no, people that were sitting on fucking government benefits for 15, 20 years that have never looked at working got the fucking stimulus package. But, you got,
mhm.
casual workers out there. They don't get fuck all. You don't even look at like you even want to work, but now you're sitting at home on fucking $1,800 or some shit in a fortnight, like you're earning more than some workers and you've never looked at working. The criteria was so loose, man. All the people that got it, if your income was affected by COVID, sweet, you're getting paid by the government. Your income is not affected. Why the fuck do you need stimulus, you shit cunt? Oh, that pisses me off, bro.
We had that happen too with like our senior citizens who are on government
Yeah,
and the welfare class, who are actually getting government assistance. They all got a check for $1,200 right off the bat. And
yeah.
then the criteria was anybody who made less than $100,000 qualified for that $1,200 stimulus check, right?
Yeah, so the
So,
crackhead that waits till the first of the month, every month, fucking,
well,
I
yeah, but
don't get it.
that too. But even the people who didn't lose their job, who are still working in a hospital or retail or whatever they were doing, they still got the $1,200 too. You know what I
Right?
mean?
Nah, I don't know what happened there. I didn't get it. I wasn't chasing it up, man. I was working at the time. I only just left my full time job, really, fucking a couple of months ago too, eh? But yeah,
Well,
I was
and
working at that time. I didn't get it.
the good thing, Nate, is that you didn't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to be self sufficient, man. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Right.
You
But
shouldn't want it either. Not you, but the people that got it. If they weren't entitled to it, no, you shouldn't fucking get it because my fucking hardworking grandkids are going to be paying that tax back, mate. Oh,
yeah.
it's so dumb, man. It's so fucking dumb, the entitlement there.
So
Pisses me off, hey. What? Yeah, it's hard times. You've lost. People don't realize they can build something for themselves as well. Like, the workforce, it's really hard to get a job right now. So it's really good. I've got to live off the government, and use there to support us more because it's hard to find work. You don't have to find a fucking job, You can find a problem. You can find people that need that problem solved, and you can fairly leverage it where they're going to come back to you all day, every day. Go and fucking do that, cunt. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, that pisses me off, man. That people think just because they can't get a job, they get to sit on the dole because it's everyone else's problem that my region is low income. Well, fucking build something so there is more opportunity in your region. Like, I don't get it. That
so
pisses
the
me off. I think you can notice.
the story I always go back to is have you ever seen, I don't know if you guys have them over there, but it's called a chia pet, where it looks like a pig
What's
and
that?
it's called a chia pet. Have you ever heard of that?
Is it like a toy or?
It's like this little clay pot pig or something, and you rub the paste over it and it grows the little chia seeds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
All right. So And then the other thing is, do you guys have like the clapper that turns on your lights, clap on, clap off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not by default, but you could buy,
Yeah. So you could buy this, it's called the clapper, right? So you
yeah,
had these Chia pets and you had the clapper. And then the third thing is soft close drawers. The soft close
yeah,
drawer. Okay. The same guy invented all three of those items. Did you know that?
yeah. No, I didn't. I'm
Okay.
following you, Mark.
So the story is that he invented the Chia Pet, this toy thing for his daughters. He had two daughters. And then he invented the clapper thing for his parents, his elderly parents, because they couldn't get in and out of bed. So they'd forget to turn
Yeah,
off the lights and they'd, do all that other stuff. And he made millions of dollars off of those two things. They became
yeah,
hugely. And he invented soft closed drawers, the soft closed drawer hinges in 1986, but they never became popular until 2010 is when they started to take off.
yeah,
So the moral of the story is, who gives this shit? You know what I mean? He
yeah,
just
yeah,
went,
yeah, yeah,
he was just going after it. He had the sack to, stand up and say, I'm going to go do
yeah,
something.
yeah.
But,
That's a
you
good
know,
story, eh? That hits it on the head.
and I actually use that. If you go to Ginger Hippo's website, I have my cheesecake recipe on my website on the blog. And
I think I've seen that.
people will ask me all the time. They'll be like, "Well, why do you have a cheesecake recipe on your marketing company's blog?" And I'm like, "Cuz if I start getting more people to the website for cheesecake than marketing shit, that side's closed and I'm going to start making Ginger Hippo cheesecakes." Right? I don't
Yeah.
it. In the end, it's
Yeah,
just
there's always.
I think I lost it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you, bro. I could hear you. You there?
Yeah, and then people
Yeah,
ask me, they're like, "Why are you doing these YouTube things?" And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I've always wanted to do it. I always wanted to just have casual conversations and
yeah,
have people to be able to see that. They're like, "Well, what if it takes off and gets popular?" And I'm like, "Well, that'd be cool, right?"
yeah. What do you mean? What? Yeah,
I'm just doing it. I'm just
yeah,
kind of, I don't know, living my little dream in my little dream world. But
yeah.
that's what
It's their case.
that's what you're doing right now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? With the new the web builder and all that other stuff, man, you came out with that, and I'm like, that's some cool shit, man. That dude's got some really cool shit going on. I mean,
yeah. I sort of I really needed a besides incentive and authority. I really what I needed was a do-it-yourself option for for businesses that weren't ready to outsource yet or that wanted to ask you for advice 40 times a day. I wanted to be accommodating to everyone. I noticed that's a big group of people that they don't want to pay fucking a couple of grand for this website, or they don't want to pay 30 grand for 2 months of something that's going to get them 90 grand.
yeah,
Yeah, I just thought one size fits all. I didn't want people to walk away and go to another company. Yeah,
yeah. So I
you
was
there?
excited.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah,
So I was excited when you came out with this because I was like, man, here's the magical combination. Like, first off, not a lot of people impress me ever in life. You know what I
no,
mean?
no, yeah,
I
yeah.
listen to people and I'm like, yeah, I've heard that 100 times before, right?
No,
Or
I only impress those people.
yeah. So when you came out with the thing, I was like, man, this dude's one. It fits your personality. You know what I mean? Because you're always just like, you're kind of a perfectionist. You know what I mean? Like, it has to
Yeah,
be
I've bad OCD.
in when you create something of that caliber, that I think you're onto something, because the other people that are playing in that space, they're lazy, and
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
just they're just sitting there eating their pie. and you're coming up behind them, collecting all the crumbs and making a little slice for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Had
Hats
a
off.
couple of yeah. I think you'll know what community um people were a little bit sour in. The fucking couple people in the ClickFunnels community were like, it's I've seen two people white label sinfully. It's not like we don't know. They throw in shade. It's like, can't you're promoting someone else's software? Can't I've white labeled something that I can add on to and build custom, bro? Like, yeah, I didn't reach out $40,000 to a developer and get something built from scratch, but someone had something built from scratch that can grow into whatever. And you're dirty because there were about 3 people in the ClickFunnels industry that, they're these people are trying to pose behind that they've developed this and that. It's like, no, I've never said I've developed this. I can add on to it. I can develop features to add on to this. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. But have a nice day, bro. Have a nice
Yeah.
day. Don't make me get on a plane. That was my big threat too. I even added onto it. I said, don't think I'm one of these other internet marketers either. If I have the means there to jump on a plane and fucking come and see you, I'm going to come and see you, cunt. Don't fuck with me, cunt. Don't make me do stupid shit. Don't piss me off. I'll come and see you.
Well, and that's kind of what our industry needs. I mean, I'm pretty abrasive. I would say I would say abrasive is kind of
Yeah,
a light term, but somebody asked me the one time, they're like, "Why are you such an asshole?" Right? I'm like, well, I said, here's the thing. I said, there's a lot of foxes out there, right? Trying to get into the hen house.
yeah,
And and I make sure that I know who all of them are, right?
yeah. I'll make
I
sure.
Yeah, and I walk in like an elephant in a china shop, and I just start, busting shit apart
Yeah,
until everybody, all the cockroaches come out. But I yeah, our industry's a tough. There's just a lot of posers. There's a lot of fake people. I mean, the whole cult funnels thing, or I call it cult
yeah,
funnels. I call it click
yeah.
funnel. Uh,
I'm still involved in the. There's a lot of good education programs over there, and there's a lot of people that share a lot of good stuff. But man, it's only really the connections that I made there 12 to 18 months ago. It turned into the biggest cesspool of bullshit. But like I'm talking about the Facebook group.
yeah,
Yeah, the private Facebook group I'm talking about. Turned to shit, but some of the best contacts I've ever met are from there. And what I like now, there's a man I've got him on my list. His name's Brandon Duff. He's
okay.
currently he's calling out a lot of them right now. You'll love it. You've got to go and have a look at his content, bro. He is calling out every he's not focusing on the ClickFunnels group. He's just focusing on the software spaces and people ripping off other people's software and selling it illegally. And
Mhm.
he's not afraid. He's naming, shaming. He's showing proof. He does live videos every day of exposing some shit cunt from ClickFunnels, bro. Not just from ClickFunnels, just one of
Yeah,
these 2-minute marketers that talk bullshit and sell dreams.
I took a step back. That was kind of my 2020 promise to myself, as I was getting so involved and so I had to take a step back and
Yeah,
just kind of do me, right? I needed to just be worried about me. And I looked at it and I said, and these are real numbers. So we went through the books for 2019, and we built 89 websites for other people for free.
yeah. You
And
said that the other day. Yeah,
that's a huge fucking number, right?
that's
And
hundreds of thousands of dollars, bro.
yeah, and so what happens is all these people start coming to you and they're like, "Hey, I could just do better if, and I could do, if you could just do this for me for free or that for me for free." And I had 5,000 connections max you could have on Facebook, and my inbox was just always full of people that just, gimme, 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 and
Yeah,
I was doing it. In the end, I suffered for it, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't go see a movie tonight with you, honey, or I can't, you know, take you out to that fancy restaurant you want to go see because I owe somebody. more of my time for a free website that I'm just doing on the side because
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I, dude, I was having anxiety attacks. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That's the
And
worst thing when you know you're grinding and you're not, that hour is ticking
yeah. And then the paying customers,
away. Oh, there you are.
the paying customers, you start falling behind on their work. The ones who are paying you
Yeah.
to work for them. And yeah, it was just terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I hope you don't get to that point, but if you start getting to
No.
that with your agency, let's have a chat.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, there's a few people. I've got a few clients that might see this and might think I'm actually talking about them, but I'm not. I don't do free work anymore. So I have about 5 clients right now that I don't help for free. It's a commission based thing, you know. They're businesses that I approach them for 20%.
Mhm.
There's a few out there. So just in case they think that I'm talking about them when I'm talking about working for free, they're 20% partnerships. They're not free. I love that. But nah, I'm like you. Yeah, I haven't really done as not 89 websites, no. Not 89 websites for free, no. But I haven't done any free work for a while.
That's when I looked at it, I was like, wow, look at all the design work that went into that. I mean, all the imagery, all of the logos, all of the everything.
Yeah,
And I have some huge things coming down the line right now that we're working
yeah,
on behind the scenes. And
yeah,
I've kept it so close to my chest because when you see when you see what happens, I'm hoping it happens by the end of the year. It's kind of been slowed down because of the whole COVID thing and everything else. But when that drops, okay, you're going to be floored, dude. I promise.
yeah,
It is it is literally. I think it's kind of revolutionary in
yeah,
it, and it's a joint project between not just me. I'm a majority owner of it, but I brought in a whole bunch of different agencies to help out with
yeah,
different pieces of things to put all of this together because I knew
yeah,
I couldn't do it by myself. And it's going to rock your world, man. I promise. Not
yeah,
from the standpoint of you wanting to be involved in it, just when you see what that looks like on the other end, you're going to be like, motherfucker, right?
yeah, yeah,
I'm I'm building this huge fucking machine that is literally just turnkey for anybody. You know what I mean? It's just here you go.
yeah,
Here's another one,
yeah, yeah.
and it'll be interesting. And before I get ready to launch it, I want your opinion on
Now,
it.
a lot of people want that, what you say, but coming from your mouth, I know that's serious. I know you're really cooking something up.
Oh, it's
If you're saying turkey, bro, you've got something fucking pretty good,
I've
mate.
I've already been working on it for a year and a half,
Yeah.
literally.
Wow.
And it should have been launched. I don't know. It should have been launched right around now, but it just kind of got
Yeah.
slowed down as everything started to unfold. But yeah, when it launches, man, it's gonna be. Trust me. I mean, I don't think anybody in our industry isn't gonna be blown away
Yeah.
by what
I
this is.
call.
And and honest to God, I listened to somebody, and this is great
No,
because
I mentioned to it.
I listened to everybody, and somebody said, you know what would be great is if we could do this, right? And it isn't even a software tool. I'll kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit. It's taking all of our industry stuff and putting it all together and then offering somebody a solution, right? Kind of a DFY. Here's your business in a box. Now go sell it. Okay. Not
Yeah.
doing what you, but I literally was listening to this guy and he said, you know what? It would be great if we had the ability to do this. And then he
And
turned
you're
around and he
already
said,
like, yeah.
No, he actually came back. He said, that'll never happen. Right. And I looked at him. I
Yeah.
said, yeah, you're probably right. It wasn't even my idea, dude. It was
Yeah.
this other.
Oh, that's where you got the inspiration from. That conversation. Oh, fucking
Yeah.
oath. Yeah, stick. Yeah, I'm with you.
So he's like, hey, this would be great if we could just blah, 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 blah. And I said, that'll never happen. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take notes. Start on this shit.
Yeah. Fucking voice record.
Hell yeah. And the first thing that's going to happen, I know this person. I've known him for a long time. When that company launches, he's going to say, well, that was my idea. And I'm going to say, yeah, it was.
You could have approached me. You could have.
He wasn't ever going to act on it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Yeah.
he's not that guy.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always impressed by you, Nate, because you're that guy. You're like, hey, fuck the dumb shit. I'm gonna do it, right? I'm gonna do it again, right? And maybe I'm not gonna do it right this time, but I'm gonna do it differently, and I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, it's better than sitting around fucking thinking, isn't it?
Yeah, watching people fucking off. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We gotta call it quits, man. You officially have the longest episode so far, so you're gonna have to go back to Andrew now and tell him that you're number one.
I got the crowd, eh?
You got the crown, man. It's over 2 hours.
Oh yeah, fucking time flies when you're having fun, bro.
Yeah.
Judging off that time frame, I reckon I'd go another 2 hours with you. But anyway.
Oh yeah, I could, but dude,
I got shit.
It's the middle of the night here now.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it would be. No, I just realised shit. 2 hours. I had shit to do. No.
Yeah.
No, I've always got time for you, bro. I love your stuff. I love having you as a friend.
Me too, man.
You're one of those contacts that I have that there's been no real benefit or reason to be a friend besides being a friend, and I like their output and their outlook on things, Yeah, hopefully I'd love to work with you one day if something ever comes up, but I just like having you as a contact that shares similar values,
Let's figure that out, man, because we can do that. You know what I mean?
I'd love it.
We're in the same industry. It's, I'm kind of at that phase now where it's, I don't know. I'm at that old bull, young bull. You remember that joke? Well, young bull says, I want to go down and screw all the cows, or I want to go down and screw the cow, run down and screw the cow. And the old bull says, well, let's just walk down and screw them all. I'm kind of in that old bull, I mean, I've gone through that young and now we just got to figure out what's right. But I would love to work with you on something. No shit.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. You're one of those people that, like me, the big thing I like about you is, data's your mentor. Not, mate, I look at numbers and results and action and what works and what doesn't work, mate. I don't care who tells me what does this and this is what I have to do. Now, fuck you. Actually, if you tell me that's not what works, I'm going to go ahead and purposely go out of my way to make sure I can prove to you that it does fucking work.
Well, that's the what is it? Job killing? The Dan Klein thing?
What's that?
Have you ever heard of JK or job killing or whatever it is with the lead gen sites that they do? And they take all this money in and they teach these people how to do lead gen, and they're like, well, everybody should go after the plumbing market. And,
yeah.
And these people come to me and it's kind of funny because I'm like, what market are you in? Plumbing? Well, yeah. How did you know that? Because Dan Klein's he's wanting to go after a different market, so he tells everybody to go after the fucking plumbing market. You know what I mean? Over here.
Yeah. So people have said to me so many times, why haven't you picked a market? Like, why haven't you done this? It's because they told me to pick a market. They told me to do this, so that's why I didn't fucking do it, mate. I'll fucking once it fails, mate. Yeah, I love it. I've risked a little bit. I've lost a little bit here and there, but mate, from what I've gained and learned and what potential I've built, mate, fucking happy days. I'm glad I went on my own and discovered it on my own. I love it. And I'll continue to do so all the time. I can't help it. I just have to learn new things. I love it.
Yeah, you're a sponge. You're a sponge like me. I mean, it's all about just sucking it all in and then putting puzzles together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It, and somebody said that to me. They're like, "Well, what vertical do you work in?" I'm like, all of them that pay their bills. I mean, I can tell you that
Yeah.
I work for, I had a client that was uh, NBA player, right? All-star NBA player.
Yeah.
And then we've had, I mean, just all across the board. I mean, if you looked at all of our clients, it wouldn't even make any sense. You know,
Same. So
and they'll come to me and they'll say, well, how are you doing in, uh, how are you doing in the financial market, or how are you doing financial work? And I'm like, the same way that I do the medical
yeah, the
work,
same way. What do you mean?
right? Well, how can you be good at both? Because it's all about keywords, websites, search engine optimization, marketing, engagement, capture, in being successful. It's all the same shit. You know
Yeah,
what
it's
I
the
mean?
same shit, different message, different topic, mate. Like fuck it, yeah.
Yeah. So
And
stay
I,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah.
All
No,
right,
I
man.
always will.
I
Take it
gotta
easy, brother.
I gotta
Good
let you go. Let's do it again soon.
for sure. Take it easy, bro.
Take it
Good
easy,
stuff.
Nate.
Later, brother.
Bye bye.